I'm Dan Galusha. Welcome to another edition of Dan's Fishing Tales. And today we're just out here fishing for fun. I have no idea what I'm going to catch or what I'm going to use. I am going to start off with a couple of different lures. One of them is right here, because I have been having a lot of luck on this. This is what's called the FT-Shad right here. This is like I'm using it on and it's put out by Natural Forage Baits. And it's also got the kicking bass in it. In fact, this one's got the shad. And I've got it on a Daiichi Bleeding Bait Copperhead hook. That's what I've been doing it with. And so anyway, I'm going to make a few casts out here. We're going to see what we can get. And let's go fishing. Might even go with a fat shad this time. In fact, we're going to go with something new. See what we can do with this. This is a swim bait put out by Stanley, I guess. Stanley Jigs. Don Banny gave me some. I'll try them on the same hook. Should have something a little bigger, actually, because I got this set up for the butt. We'll try it. Good tough texture to these, I'll tell you. There's something I hadn't planned on catching, especially up there in that hot, shallow water. And I got it on that new bait that I just put on, right there. That wasn't too bad of a fish. Well, always works. Don't have the camera on, try to get it on the last minute. Yeah, got that one on that FT-Shad. We're going to move down a ways. I cast down more into the shallows. And, I mean real shallow. It's hot water, but that's where they're at. Now we move down into the shallows. I'm still trying this FT-Shad. Works pretty good. That last fish I caught was on that. And like I said, I think they're up there here in these shallows. Very hot water, but the fish are feeding. There's some scum moss, and Don Banning's way down there. In fact, the only thing I've caught on that lure he gave me was that crappie. We may do better with it later. We'll see. I might even try it here. So I'm gonna go fishing here, get some more fish. Right, they are up there. Not a real big one, but there's a lot bigger ones in here. I was out here fishing just recently with Brandon Rogel and his family. At least two of the boys. We had them. Didn't have a girl, so it was a wife. But anyway, both boys caught some nice fish. I'll show you some pictures here. Wyatt got a 19-incher, and then the Walker, he really got one. He got 21-inch Illinois State Award, so he was happy. There we go. Put him back. Like I said, nothing big, but hey, fish. And the line's all hooked around. Yeah, that's one problem here. I'm going to show you. These copperheads are great hooks. But you do have a problem you should know about, because you want to watch out for this. The line here will wrap itself around, especially if you got this moss and you can't see where it's at. And the copperhead will not be connected in quite the right spot. It wasn't very hard getting it loose, but what can happen then is your line gets inside of there, and you can snap your line on a hook set. But might as well tell you about, well, and you see me put that on, I think. Maybe not. Anyway, I screwed that on the copperhead. And then back here, you want to put that hook in and skin hook it, just like that. So that, you know, it'll be a hair trigger and you'll have them. Let's fish some more. Okay, another smaller bass. I don't know if the big ones are up in here today. But something I'm going to talk to you about is the retrieve. How am I retrieving this? Let me get this hook out of the way. The one way, you can do these several different ways. The one thing you can do is just cast it out and let it fall. Don't put any action to it at first. Just cast it out, let it fall. A lot of times the fish will hit it. Now, another way is to walk the dog. Any of you that are topwater fishermen like with a spook, you know what I'm talking about. You just twitch the rod and the lure goes that way. At least some of these do. Now this Natural Forage Bait FT-Shad, it's great for that. That thing just walks the dog like a spook would. But what I have found is they're not going for that retrieve today. What they're doing is you let it kind of fall a little bit and then just give it a twitch. Let it fall, twitch. Let it fall, twitch. And most of the time, these jerk shad, that's the way you do them. I mean, this is not what they call the jerk shad. This is the FT-Shad again. But the jerk shad is pretty much the same thing. The Natural Forage Bait's got both. And I know I always talk about Natural Forage Bait, but man, this is a great soft plastic bait. If you can't find them locally, just go online, because the company will sell them to you directly. You get a bunch of lures for probably less even than what you're paying for just a few of other companies. I've been very impressed with them. And as you all know, those of you who have followed me through the 49 years of Dan's Fishing Tales knows that if I endorse something, I believe in that product. It's not a thing of where I'm just doing it because they're a sponsor or that I'm on their pro staff or whatever. It's because I believe in it. I have actually turned staffs down because the product they had did not work the way I wanted. And I want the product to work for you just like it works for me. And Natural Forage Baits will. That's why I've got all the other companies, like Rattle Trap, Blitz, Custom Jig and Spin, B-Fish, and of course TTI Blakemore. Man, you know, Roadrunners, hooks, the best hooks there are. Daiichi, X-Point, True Turn. True Turn is what I started out with on them. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in. And I'm going to get back out here and do some more fishing. Oh, by the way, too, I'm doing some experimenting on this video, and hopefully it works good. I am not using my normal mic. I am using the mic that comes out of the camera. That's because I wanted to transport it different. We're in a sort of a lake where really can't transport a lot of stuff around easy. So that's what we're doing. Let's hope it's working. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I'm looking for here. Give you an idea too for you folks that have never fished like pond scum. I don't know if you can see it out here or not. But it's it can be drifting around like it is today with the wind, and watch the fish. Sometimes you'll see swirls in that, especially if you're casting your bait. Follow that stuff. Don't try to get it on your line. I mean, try to work your way through it, especially if it's scattered out. Otherwise, if there's a good edge where the wind has blown it into there, fish along that edge. It's a good solid edge. A lot of times there's, you know, things like that. And also, pull out something like a Blitz frog, and that's spelled P-H, not with an F. And you can put it right over the top of that. Now, sometimes that scum stuff can get pretty heavy, so you know, make sure you get heavy enough line to pull them out of there if you get one. I'm going to go back up here, and we're still going to fish this shallow end. I know it's been hot weather. We do have a cold front that went through, major cold front, because it's been up in the, well up in the 90s, and today it's down around 80, I guess. Will be. It's warm down here amongst all these weeds, but you know, that's what we got. So I'm going to do some more casting up in here. Another way you can fish this is with a thing they call the butt dragger. Hang on here. Thought I had one. It's the same thing as this copperhead, this bleeding bait copperhead, but it's got a weight on it. And I'm getting all sorts of hits out here right now, by the way. But that will drop it down deeper, and you can fish it the same way you're doing it with this one. It just doesn't have that slow drop like this one has. And so what you want to do is, say you're in a little bit deeper water and you know they're hitting on this sort of a lure, well, put that butt dragger on there. Another thing, that butt dragger, I might use that on a spinning rig so that I can finger jig it. In fact, that 75, that B&M 75 series rod that I got right there, I've used it on that, and it's worked very well. I'm fishing those little clumps like I was talking to you about. Fishing those little clumps of pond scum that's floating around the top. It really seems like they're hanging around there. And I'm getting a ton of hits, but some of them I think are smaller fish. And with this one, because of the fact I don't have it weighted, sometimes you can see the strike because it's so close to the surface they come up and it boils it when they grab it. And when you get it, I got a chunk of that stuff. When you get the strike, you don't set the hook right away with these. If you do, you're probably going to miss the fish. You want them to actually start carrying it or pulling it away from you in some ways. And I mean, you get a weighty feeling, go ahead and set the hook because you don't want them to get it too deep. That don't happen a lot with this, but it can happen. So you have to experiment with it. You have to. Once you learn it, you're going to know it. It's just one of those things. You can practically feel it, which I do. Yeah, I miss sometimes. In fact, quite a few times. But, and then always check that thing's still skin hooked, because if you don't, you're going to come up with a pile. Well, whatever. You just don't know. Again, what I'm doing is I'm casting amongst all this stuff that's drifting around constantly. So it's got some food in it. You'll notice I just sat here for a bit. Just kind of let it fall, drift, and then I twitch. I don't do anything else then, and I twitch, and then I will start going less pauses, and just kind of twitching it along. I got one right there. There we go. That one hit right away. Good fish, I think. Looks like it. And that's just how I fished it, right there. Okay. Not too bad. He'd be a keeper in a tournament. Be happy with that. I mean, he's no kicker fish, that's for sure. But got hooked. He got hooked in the mouth, right where you want it. There he is, right there. And that's how I did it. I mean, it was just like he was on cue for me to tell you all about it. And he was doing his thing, for sure. I mean, like I said, it was perfect. because that's just exactly how I'm fishing, how I'm getting these fish to hit. And so it gave you anyway a little bit of an idea on that. I was talking to you a little bit ago about the spring. I'm going to show you this up close. This is what just happened with that fish I'd caught. See how the spring is? That spring is completely out of whack. How did it get to that? I don't really know. Except for the fact that what happened is it came between the line, just like this. I don't know if you can see that. The line is between there, and it's over that knot. So this is where you can get into trouble, and I got to give it more slack. Get my rod down here, stuck in a weed. There we go. Okay. You got to give it a little bit more slack because this line is going to have to go through there and out, and this hook part of this, I either unsnap it or I bring it back like this, and again it's caught into that line, and it's not that bad, but that fish was enough just to pull it over the top of that, and it pulled it over the knot, and by doing that, that is actually caught in there, and that's what I wanted to show you. That's what you have to do, is to get that out of there, and it really still isn't out of there. It's in fact, there we go. There it is right there. Now it's on the right side of it. But that could, and really what I ought to do is retie. And this thing's coming unscrewed a little bit too. So you want to screw it back down, because what you want to do with these is keep that head right down there as close as possible. And then again, take it, stick it out like that. Bring it on the outside. And just get the point in there so that it stays there. That's actually, the point part is out here, and then the exact point is right inside of there, skin hooked. So let's see if we can catch another one like that. You know, I just said a little bit ago about how you can see him hit it. This one, I seen this one come up and grab it. Nice fish. Real nice fish. And he did. He came up and he grabbed that lure. Right, it was clear enough water that I could see. And he retook it. He was after it. There was no two ways out of it. That was not one of those where I had to wait. He just took it, grabbed it, and like you can see, very nice fish. Been feeding pretty good on that belly, so hey, that was not bad fish. They're all good. We always say not a bad fish. They're all good. They're not bad, none of them. You get a fish on, I don't care what size it is, you caught yourself fish. I've been talking to you about the this pond scum stuff. The wind has come around just enough that it is moving this out from where I've been catching these fish. And the fish have actually shut down in that area. There's an area crossed over near the shore which I can't reach with the cast. But it's got a lot of pond scum right in one area. And I've noticed the fish are really busting underneath it. That's where they're holding. That shows me right there that if I can find the right amount of pond scum with it going around maybe in like a big circle, being washed up like I showed you in that one photo, up into a corner somewhere or something like that, there's a good chance you're going to catch some fish. There's no doubt about that. Well, when I started, I said that we were just going to do this for the fun of it, see what happens, and hopefully you did get some tips along the way on fishing these FT-Shad. And I'm going to throw you a few more. This, along with any of the jerk shad, not just the FT, frame. But they will work pretty much any time of the year if you have them rigged right. The way I have them rigged right now, no. Unless I'm using the butt dragger. Then that'll take it down deeper and I can do a few more things with it. Like if I was fishing in a larger reservoir, say like Bull Shoals, which everybody knows Bull Shoals is my favorite. If I'm fishing that sort of a spot, I might use a butt dragger because it's much deeper lake, of course. And going along the shores, there are times when those fish are way up in the backs of the creek arms and the shores and all that sort of stuff. And that's when you need like that butt dragger on there to make a longer cast because it's such clear water. But also, that can spook things. So then you want to try this and maybe try it on a rod like this B&M, a longer, lighter weight rod that'll give you a long cast. Another way that you can fish this, and I've done this a lot, is using like a Blitz Pro Spin, which is an underspin. It's down here. Or, and one that I've used a lot, is what they call a Casey's head. And that is, of course, a Roadrunner product. And those work good a lot of the other times of the years, like their fall and your spring, even in the summer. But this rig like this, right now we're in July. And I always feel that July is just kind of about my brink of when these stop, although they've really been carrying on this year. I like these at post-spawn. They do seem like they trigger fish at that time. And then through June. June is always, to me, the best month that I can fish them like this. Now as fall comes in, then again I'm going to more of that underspin, like I was just talking about. And so you can, and this it makes an excellent, the FT-Shad. Because what I like is a tail like this, because this does have a split tail, as you can see here. And I like that. I've got a bee flying around. I like that split tail one for the underspins. There's just something about it that I like a lot better. Of course, I'll use a swim bait too, but again, that's another subject. We're talking about a jerk shad. A straight jerk shad that is just a solid tail, that's a different ballgame. I will use it on those that I told you about, but I prefer to hold that for anything that has to do with the Daiichi Bleeding Bait Copperhead, whether it's the butt dragger or just the plain one like this. So anyway, hopefully, you know, those tips will help you out fishing this sort of bait. And I hadn't really planned on doing it. So I said, I had no idea. I'd had a good idea anyway that they'd hit on this, but wasn't sure. The other day, as I told you, I was with the Rogulas, and we did very, very good. And today, I'm not doing bad. In fact, I'm going to get back out here fishing, but I'm going to let you guys go. So until next time, get out of the water and have a great day of fishing.